Hey guys, Jason here, and welcome to another edition of my Madden 2017 franchise. This is the 2017 recap edition of my franchise. We'll go ahead and we'll cover everything that's happened in the league throughout the year, and we'll take a look at the playoffs and preview those as well. So let's go ahead first, and we'll start off with the league awards. So when we take a look at some of the weekly awards, we'll just kind of scroll through here. You know, some of the usual suspects. Bridgewater was Player of the Week in Week 2. Jacoby Brissett. That's interesting to see. Peterson in Week 5. Peterson in Week 7. Dak Prescott in Week 9. Dak Prescott in Week 10. Adrian Peterson in Week 11. And those are the players this week that we had. Let's take a look at some of the yearly awards. The NFL MVP, Jacoby Brissett. Peterson, in his record-breaking rushing season, finished in 5th. Coach of the Year, Griffin Murphy for the New England Patriots, followed by Gus Bradley, and then I finished in 3rd place. Look at the AFC awards. Offensive Player of the Year was Jacoby Brissett. Defensive Player of the Year, J.J. Watt. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Brad Kaya, quarterback for the Houston Texans. One of the players that we renamed. You can see you have Christian McCaffrey, Delvin Cook, and Nick Chubb as well. Leonard Fournette, Deshaun Watson, Darren Carrington, Cortland Sutton. So some of the players I created are in here. Very interesting. Shaquan Eckel is Defensive Rookie of the Year for the AFC. Best QB, Jacoby Brissett. Best running back, Jamal Charles. Best wide receiver, Julian Edelman. Best offensive lineman, Kelvin Beachum. Best defensive lineman, J.J. Watt. Best linebacker, Von Miller. Best defensive back, Adam Pac-Man Jones. And best kicker, Stephen Gostkowski. Let's go ahead and take a look at the NFC. Offensive Player of the Year is Cam Newton. Adrian Peterson finishes 2nd. Excuse me. Yes, Offensive Player of the Year, sorry. Defensive Player of the Year, Bobby Wagner from Seattle. We had no one. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Sean France from Carolina. Some of the other creative players you can see, Juju Smith-Schuster from USC, Malachi Dupree. We had no one. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Brady Weatherspoon for the 49ers. So once again, we had no one. Best QB, Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay. Bridgewater finished 6th. Best running back, Adrian Peterson. Best wide receiver, Julio Jones. We didn't have anyone there either. Best offensive lineman, Tyron Smith. I believe he won it last year as well. Best defensive lineman, Robert Quinn. I think he won defensive lineman last year too. Bobby Wagner at linebacker. Yet again, I think another repeat. Defensive back, Orlando Scandrick. He did win last year. Best kicker, Graham Gano. Walsh finished 5th. It was an interesting season for us. We finished 6th in overall offensive yardage. And then in defense, we finished number 1. Let's take a look at some of the... let's see. We'll take a look at the standings here real quickly. Your top seed, or your overall best team in the NFL was the Patriots at 14-2, and the Seahawks at 12-4. So your AFC seeds in the playoffs are the Patriots, the Jaguars, Bengals, Chargers, Bills, and Raiders. NFC's Seahawks, Vikings, Saints, Cowboys, Packers, and Panthers. Break it down by division. Bengals at 11-5. Jaguars at 13-3. Patriots at 14-2 and Bills at 9-7. Chargers at 10-6, Raiders at 9-7. Vikings at 12-4 and Green Bay at 10-6. Saints at 11-5, Panthers at 10-6, Cowboys at 11-5, and Seahawks at 12-4. Sam Bradford in the trade was not able to save the 49ers at 6-9-1. When we talk about trades, we did have to make a few trades here in the offseason and during the season. Let's go ahead and look at our team transactions, and then we'll look at all the league transactions. So if you look back here, go back into the preseason, or excuse me, the beginning of the regular season. We traded Jarius Wright to the Texans in week 2, and with that we received the 2019 third round, 2019 fourth round, and a 2019 fifth round. They initiated the offer to us, so we took it. We then signed Malcolm Mitchell off our practice squad to a 1-year, $1.57 million contract. Adrian Peterson re-signed for 2 years, $18.4 million. We signed Sharif Floyd to 4 years, $37.9. Teddy Bridgewater, we had a choice to make between Bridgewater and Bradford. We signed Bridgewater to a 4 year, $62.3 million deal. We then traded Sam Bradford to the San Francisco 49ers. In return, we received running back Mike Davis and a 2018 round 5 draft pick. We then released running back David Cobb. Bridgewater got hurt, so we had to sign quarterback Matt Barkley. I think actually we had Barkley for depth after Bradford got hurt. We then traded for Dak Prescott. We traded the 2019 third round pick to the Cowboys for him. And then we released Taylor Heineke. Bridgewater was hurt for an extended period of time. I think Bridgewater's still going to be a long-term guy, but we're going to do the best we can to keep Prescott and Bridgewater. Perhaps Prescott can develop enough to where we can get a one of the draft picks back from the original Bradford trade, or maybe we can at least get a high pick out of him so we have extra picks. I think Prescott was pretty solid for us, so keeping him around for injury insurance policy isn't going to hurt either. We then re-signed Anthony Barr to a 6 year, $76.2 million contract. Xavier Rhodes to a 4 year, $26.9 million contract. Adam Thielen to a 2 year, $2.514 million contract. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the transactions that have occurred in the league. We could see any coaching firings here as well. The Broncos have fired head coach Gary Kubiak. Jets have fired head coach Todd Bowles. Ravens fire John Harbaugh. Texans are really going to town signing people and re-signing some of their current players. Just seeing if any of these names really stick out here. I'm just kind of giving you guys everything that happened here. I'm not seeing really any big names here. Obviously teams signing people to future contracts here. They can fill their roster now. The season is over. Not seeing anything big there when we look at some of the re-signings. Sam Shields resigns at Green Bay for a 1 year deal. Derek Carr resigned to Oakland for a 4 year, $62.3 million deal. He's from the same draft class as Teddy Bridgewater. Bradford re-signed a deal with the 49ers for 3 years for $22.4 million. They signed him almost instantly then, because Bridgewater ended up getting the same. Carr got the same deal that Bridgewater got, so it's good to see that we didn't really overpay. Blake Bortles, also from that class, also got a 4-year, $62.3 million deal. So that class of 2014 is getting paid. Thomas Rawls resigns with the Seahawks. Brandon Cooks with the Saints. Ray Maluga with the Bengals. Jamal Charles with the Chiefs. Interesting deal for him. 3 years, $29.3 million. That's a bit pricey in my eyes. Khalil Mack got a 6-year, $101 million deal. That's a huge deal for him. Charles Sims got a 5-year deal. Antonio Brown, 5 years, $74.9 million. Tyrod Taylor resigns with the Bills. Jarvis Landry with the Dolphins. This is all the year. I think most of the 2014 class is all free agents. So Stafford signs a new deal with Detroit. So as you can see, lots of signings. Seahawks re-signed Jimmy Graham. A lot of key players staying on their teams. Hopkins got a 4-year, $51.4 million deal. John Sullivan re-signed with the Bears for a 3-year, $19.3 million deal. We cut Sullivan in the offseason, as the Vikings did in the preseason of last season. So we will go ahead, and there was no franchise tags. We'll go ahead and preview the playoffs here, and then I will end, and we will get things rolling with the playoffs. Probably take a look at our team statistics first, though. I'm now 15th on the legacy leaderboard. Bridgewater, 2,417 yards, 24 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Barkley had 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. Prescott had 16 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. That is including, I think, a touchdown and an interception with Dallas. Rushing, obviously, it was the Adrian Peterson show. 2,149 yards and 12 TDs. Mike Davis, that's over the course of the 49ers and us, had 1 TD and 129 yards. McKinnon had 3 touchdowns for 104 yards, and Bridgewater ran for 2 touchdowns as well. Receiving, our leading receiver is Michael Pruitt, 53 receptions for 780 yards and 4 touchdowns. Kyle Rudolph, 51 receptions for 857 and 6 touchdowns. Rudolph was hurt a large majority of the season as well. Treadwell, 775 yards and 9 touchdowns. Stills, Kenny Stills, our big free agent signing, 585 yards and only 29 receptions. However, 11 touchdowns. So I can't really rate that signing as a bust. Diggs, 359 yards and 3 touchdowns. Adam Thielen, 259 yards and 4 touchdowns. Then Ellison and Peterson each adding a touchdown, along with Zach Line. Malcolm Mitchell had 2 touchdowns as well. Defensively, when we take a look at who led the team in sacks, it was Linval Joseph with 8, followed by Sharif Floyd at 6.5, Brian Robison with 5, Everson Griffin with 3, and Anthony Barr with 2, and a couple of players with 1 as well. Let's take a look at who led the league, our team in interceptions. 3 for Harrison Smith, 2 for Kendricks, 2 for Rhodes, 2 for Sendeo, 2 for Greenway, 1 for Waynes and Alexander. Let's take a look at the league leaders here in statistics quickly, and then we'll get into the playoffs. Passing, Phillip Rivers. Passing TDs, Jacoby Brissett with 43. Wow. Rushing, Adrian Peterson. Peterson would have been second in touchdowns, tied with Dalvin Cook. Carlos Williams led the Buffalo Bills with 13 TDs. Jordy Nelson led the league in receptions with 100. Receiving yardage was Julio Jones with 1,426. Touchdowns was Julian Edelman with 16. Defensively, Perry Riley Jr. led the league in tackles. Sack leader was J.J. Watt with 26, breaking the all-time sack record, followed by Robert Quinn with 23. Interceptions, Vontae Davis with 7, along with Bradley Roby, Chris Harris Jr., and Adam Jones. Quickly kicking and punting. Kick returns, Golden Tate has 21 for 645 and 2 TDs. TD leader was Tate with 2. Yardage leader was, good luck saying that first name, Grigsby with 808. Punt returns, Cooks had, or Tavon Austin had 427 yards and 2 TDs. Let's go ahead and we will take a look at the playoff schedule. Obviously, we already know that we have a first round bye, so we'll skip through everything up to our game, and then I will leave you and I will get the game going in a different broadcast. We have the Raiders at Bengals, the Panthers at Saints, the Bills at Chargers, and the Packers at Cowboys. So let's go ahead and we're going to sim these games very quickly. And we'll take a look at this team schedule. Obviously, we know we play Green Bay. The wild card, the Bengals defeated the Raiders 27-10. Carolina defeated New Orleans 24-13. Buffalo lost to San Diego 21-30. Green Bay defeated Dallas 29-22. Our divisional round matchups: the Chargers at Patriots, Panthers at Seahawks, Bengals, Jaguars, and Packers at Vikings. We'll take a look here real quick at what our season split was with Green Bay. I think we beat them both times. We beat Green Bay 30-28 in week 15 and 17-10 in week 17, so we know that this most likely is going to be a close one. So I will go ahead and I will end here, and then I will join you when we play the Green Bay Packers.